they blowing up, we like landmine. We up in your shorty cause
Welcome in, Yankees family. Welcome to the new and improved roll call. I'm Gio, joined every week with my co-host Tyler. Tyler, how you feeling, brother?
Not bad, not bad. Got a tie ball game in the sixth. Florial just got on base via a base hit.
Yep.
Finally, I think that's the Yankees' first hit of the game in the sixth inning. Nothing new, but
We almost had a no-hitter going in the bad kind because it was happening to us. Let's take care of some
feels like
homework.
this.
We're recording this as of September 26th. This is your first time on the channel. Please leave. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell if you like to get notifications on Yankees content. We're here every week with some new gripping insight information. Oh man, the Yankees are officially eliminated, Tyler. First time since 2016 that this team will not be in any type of playoff game. What is your initial thoughts that our season's officially over, and all we can look forward to now is 2024?
I almost wish it was a little bit worse because if they actually finish below 500 and we're in last place, then that might even elicit a bigger response. Now, everybody talks about right now, they're talking about like 2008 and 2012, I think it is.
Yeah.
Years they did not make the playoffs, and then they went out and spent a ton of money. I don't necessarily think spending a ton of money is the best decision. As long as, if they do it correctly, it could be, but I don't think, they have a few problems already with big contracts. I don't need to add a couple of more issues, but if they pick the right guys, 2 or 3 really smart trades, 1 or 2 of those trades doing more subtraction than addition.
Yeah.
And then we're heading the right way. But I don't think there's too much on the trade market either. So it's kind of either Cashman's going to have to be creative or guys are going to have to step up.
Guys are definitely going to have to step up. And here's the thing with the Yankees, right? They're not going to go ahead and play 6 rookies next season. So off the bat that Cashman and company, or whether that's Cashman or someone else, another GM. But right now we're going to go with what we know. He got an extension, so he'll probably be back. They're going to have to fill this roster, right? Because you're going to get Anthony Rizzo back, hopefully healthy, knocking on wood. That solidifies first base, but then you need a third baseman. You need a left fielder. Jason Dominguez injury now means you need a center fielder. You're losing pieces in the bullpen. Not a lot, but, that's probably one of the Yankee strengths that you don't really even have to worry about. You're losing a couple pieces of your rotation with Sevy and Montas. So there's a lot of work to do. And I think the only way the Yankees can build a roster for next season that is somewhat competitive, at least better than a 4th place team, they're going to have to spend some money.
Yeah, they got a bunch of money coming off the books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an issue with them spending some money, but last time they did it, they brought in like Beltran, McCann, Tanaka, and Ellsbury.
Yeah.
Those are a few guys who are on the wrong side of 30. If you're going to spend big money, I'd rather them spend it on somebody who's like 25, 26. Like, Juan Soto's not a free agent till after next season, but he got into the league so early that he's going to become a free agent when he's 26. So you sign that guy to a 10-year deal, and the back years of that is when he's like 36, which is a lot easier to swallow than the first 5 of the years being like 35, 36. Because
that's what she said.
Sorry.
I don't know how to respond to that one.
I agree with you. Since you brought it up, let's just discuss real quickly some of the rumor mills floating all over the place. The season hasn't even ended yet, and it's already starting to buzz with the Mike Trout. If he waives his trade clause to Phillies, the Yankees are potential outlets. Juan Soto, if the Padres were to Would to sell, Yankees all over it. Before I give my take, what is your thoughts on either one of those options being probably the only real big bats available via trade this offseason if they are made available?
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times before. The only avenue for either of those guys really to have a spot on this Yankees roster is if Giancarlo Stanton heads elsewhere. I mean, you don't need another injury prone righty bat who's making a ton of money.
Yep,
But if you were to give him the option to replace Stanton with Mike Trout,
I'll take that. Yeah,
or not, I take that deal. He can play some center field still, definitely. And Juan Soto, even he can play outfield, but I also would want the DH spot open for him because I wouldn't really trust him out there in left field for so many games. But there's always injuries to people.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's another guy who probably fits a lot better as a right fielder at Yankee Stadium. But we kind of have somebody else who plays right field.
The captain. I agree. Like the Juan Soto just worries me. Left field in Yankee Stadium. Left field is bigger. Bigger. More. There's more real estate, should I say, to patrol in left field than it would be like center. And then Juan Soto's already not a plus defender. So, if you believe Brian Cashman and his quotes of saying that they need to get more, better defensively, they need to get better, more athletic. Juan Soto or Mike Trout don't necessarily fit those bills. But knowing Cashman, and his fascination with home run or nothing guys, that's like a match made in heaven if the Yankees can pull off a trade. Now, here's my question, follow-up question before we move on to the Aaron Judge comments. If, and let's just say if Tyler was the GM for the day and let's start with the Angels. The Angels knocked on your door. Tyler,
Who is it?
Mike Trout's available. I want 4 guys. You tell me who those 4 guys are for him. Who will you put that package for?
Well, are we being realistic or are we being like?
Let's try to be semi-realistic and a little bit of fun because it's we're nearing the end of the season. There's not much to talk about, so let's have a little fun. Let's give me a semi-realistic, it's all fantasy, so semi-fantasy scenario.
So here's the deal. I don't know if Giancarlo Stanton would accept a trade to the Angels.
One exception is that we cannot dump salary on the Angels because they're not going to accept it. So that's part of the realisticness.
Can we do a 3-team trade where I send Stanton to the Dodgers?
Sure.
Okay. So Stan goes to the Dodgers. Somehow the Yankees pay some money for that, but the Yankees also get money off from Mike Trout because the Angels are going to have to eat a lot of money for Mike Trout. Realistically, the Angels would probably want young pitching in a trade for Mike Trout. I mean, the Yankees got a plethora of young pitching in the minors. It's really hard to kind of save and who because it's so the amount of money he's owed, but also at the same time he still is projected to put up a ton of value if healthy. It's hard to really, it's just big numbers you're playing with if you're thinking about like baseball trade values.
Mm-hmm.
But something like, we're going to try something new here. We got the screen share option on here. Let's try this out real quick.
Go ahead.
Let's see how this goes. All right. So we're hopping over here to baseball trade values. Looking at the trade simulator. And this thing isn't completely accurate, but I believe it passes for like a very good portion of trades. If only it would load in right now. The stream's not helping, but so let's pull up the Angels.
Okay, it's on the screen for you. One thing this does do though is take away your audio. I'm gonna switch you back on, and then we'll figure out how to do that with your audio for next time.
You can't hear me right now?
No, the whole time you were sharing your screen, I couldn't hear you, but it's okay. You talk it through, and then next episode I'll have a another template for when
But
you
you
want to
can
share
hear
your
me
screen.
when
When your
my face
camera's
is
on.
up.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just split screen this. All right. So Mike Trout actually has negative value right now. But you can see he's still projected to put up about 165 million value in WAR over the next 7 years, which is quite interesting. But let's send him over to the Yankees. Let's go over to the Yankees here. And let's find Stanton. Of course, he's way negative. Now, these two guys here, they're both really negative. But, Stanton's is all salary. What I say, Mike Trout has about 150 mil in value. Stanton is nowhere close to there. But, Trout's got a bigger contract, 3 more years. But so it's really a numbers game now. But you'll probably throw in a guy. I'd really probably save Schmidt for like a type of Juan Soto deal. But say you got to throw in. We'll throw in Hampton. Let's throw in Bowers. And let's throw in this Hall guy. Okay. So, Yankees would be giving up negative 50 Trout. But anyways, what the Angels will really do, they're not going to trade Trout for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not going to be like Stanton deal. They'll probably throw in. I've seen this done before by Robbie Hyde. They'll throw in like say 130 mil to the Yankees. And so because they're eating all that money, that makes it so it was at about 45. Yeah, 43. So that makes it so the Yankees would have to throw in like a Clark Schmidt type of guy.
Yeah.
But this is all hypothetical. It's really, when you get into such big contracts and such big WAR values, it's really difficult to project that. And you really don't know entirely how much money the Angels would be willing to pay, because they want to dump the money. But it's hard to tell. But it'd be a very complex deal, something that is unrealistic for the Yankees sake. Actually pulling something off like that, they like never do that. They haven't done that since like A-Rod. But I mean, that's probably the only other thing you can really compare it to is the A-Rod deal with Alfonso Soriano being the main piece going to the Rangers.
Yeah.
But, I definitely see the Phillies, if Mike Trout is actually available, wants to move, that's definitely the best fit. The Phillies or even the Rangers, just I don't know if the Angels would want to deal him within division.
Probably not. If I were to be playing GM, and I'll flip it to now do Soto. The Padres gave up like 7 prospects to get him, but they had 2.5 years of control. So my idea is that it would take 3 to maybe 4 guys to land Soto for a season, just to entice him. And you would probably want to start with a pitcher, and Mike King has now put himself in a position where he's very attractive. Clark Schmidt is a guy that can go in that deal. Brito is a guy that can go in that deal. Vasquez and maybe a Hill can go in that deal. So I'll probably start with either Smith or King. Spencer Jones. Then you can start talking about like the Trey Sweeneys. And then maybe a catcher, throw in a Higgy, throw in a Ben Rorvet, and probably start to structure the deal around there. You got an outfielder and Spencer Jones. Maybe you give him a MLB ready outfielder to play right field for now. Maybe like a Florial, something like that. Pereira. So maybe I'll do like Schmidt, Spencer Jones, Pereira, and Rorvet, and call it a day, and get Juan Soto over here and get his Yankee career started before we re-sign him. So that would be my little mock trade, that's semi realistic, semi fantasy. Let's switch on up because we're already around that halfway mark on this show. Let's talk about the Aaron Judge comments. So Judge, after Sunday's loss, came out. Reporters actually asked him the question, so it's not like he offered it himself. But pretty much he was saying that there's some changes that need to be made, and he wants to be a part of it. There's some things going on in the clubhouse that needs to be addressed and changed. After hearing what he said, Tyler, what was your initial thoughts of what he was alluding to?
Aaron Judge is a very respectful kind of guy. I'm not surprised that he doesn't say specifics in front of the camera. The first thing I think of is kind of LeBron James, the GM, kind of putting together his team. But I also kind of think about kind of his comments when he came back to the team, and he wanted kind of support around him, and then how Steinbrenner, after signing Rodon, said we're not done.
Yep.
So, I don't know how much influence a single baseball player can have because it's not really like basketball. But I think him sharing his opinion like that is better than him not. So I think, and also there's rules about kind of enticing other players, kind of like planting that seed before even the off season. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say this is his team, but he's the captain. He's here for another 8 years. He's an MVP. And him and Garrett Cole, if they want this team to be good, they kind of got to take on a more of a leadership role.
Yeah.
I don't really know what goes on in that clubhouse. And it seems like they all get along pretty well. But obviously, the chemistry on the field hasn't really translated. I mean, it's hard when there's so many changing names in a different lineup every day because everybody's gotten injured.
Yeah.
But it's up to Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge to, apply some pressure. And, Garrett Cole can be like, hey, if you don't do anything, I'm going to leave after next year because I got to opt out. And if I don't see this franchise take a turn for the better, then you can say goodbye to me and my Cy Young caliber seasons for the next. I mean, he's only got like 5 years left after this, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know.
He's been here.
That deal kind of flew. We're already at the halfway mark. My initial thoughts was of his comments, because he did say they want to keep it private and keep it in house. But he also said something a little later that probably give more insight on what he meant. And I think he said that guys have to want to be here. And I think there is a time where Aaron Hicks, maybe Josh Donaldson, Joey Gallo, certain people that the Yankees traded for probably did not want to be a Yankee. Andrew Benintendi, another example where the team is probably putting their stock into like numbers instead of personnel and personality, where guys are not fitting in and they don't want to physically be here, and they're probably not putting in the effort behind the scenes like they should be to prepare for a major league season or a game or whatever it is that they're attacking that day. So I think it has to do more with players, maybe philosophy, because he also mentioned the minors, so I'm thinking it has to do with like a approach philosophy, because I just found this out recently in an article by I think it was Brandon Cuddy, that now Anthony Rizzo, the last offseason, also is using Aaron Judge's hitting coach as of last season,
Mm.
last offseason. So that explains why Rizzo was so hot to start the season and why he was having such a great season to start before he had the concussion. So it makes me wonder if Judge is like, hey, like this philosophy don't work. Me and Riz are the only two Yankees that are using my guy, and look at the results that we had prior to both of our injuries. So I'm thinking it's like a mixture of that philosophy, maybe coaching and personnel, and just the way that the whole organization is structured, and the way that's what I really want to say. The way that the Yankees are making decisions. I think that's what he was alluding to and getting towards. And if he has the ear of how and can influence that, I think that will go a long way. I don't think he's trying to play GM. I don't think he's trying to, tell them who to sign. I think it's more about the decisions on who they decide to attack and go after and trade for, and philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't believe the tunnel vision this management has. Like, only a fool doesn't do research on like other ideas and really kind of compare different things to figure out what's best.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and like you said, if Rizzo and Judge were using this other guy, and he's just so much better, and the results have shown it. It's like it's crazy to me. Yeah, I forgot what else I was going to say, but we can continue this conversation here.
Yeah, it's alarming, and you know, in regards to like just the Yankees personnel in general, like I think we've gotten aside from the universe, because we were talking about Brian Cashman and him, if he were to leave, right? If Hal were to say, how he probably won't fire him, but he'll promote him, give him a new position within the organization or something like that. If he were to leave, like who would be the guy, or who would be the person, should I say, to take over? And I think we finally gotten the baseball universe is answering our prayers, because Kim Eng, it's been reported as of last week that her contract is actually up at the end of this season. Her contract status and stuff like that, and her length of her contract wasn't available up until like last week. So no one knew this. I don't know if anyone in the industry, how, or anyone else knew this, but she's actually going to be a free agent. And if she was in a Yankee organization before, she's been here. She knows how. She knows some of the front office people. It really might be an aligning of the stars, in a sense of, hey, if Hal really wants to make a change between Kim, Brian Sabian, and Omar Minaya, you have the three people you need to really figure out how to change this roster. Because I don't have faith that Brian Cashman, with all the work that needs to be done, because it's a lot, bro. You have to figure out your catching situation. You have to figure out your third base. You have to figure out even first base. I know Rizzo is a lock over there, but what if he doesn't perform? Or what if he can't perform with the concussion? What are you going to do with Glaber? Is Anthony Volpe going to be everyday shortstop really of the future? Is he really profile as that? He convinced me during August, but September, with some of these errors he's making, it's like, all right, is he really a second baseman? We still don't have a left fielder. Domingo gone with no center field, and the only position we could lock in is some of our pitching staff, bullpen, and right field. So there's a lot of overhaul, and I don't know if Brian could do it. I don't know if Kim Eng could do it. I don't know if Omar Minaya could do it. I don't know if Brian Sabian could do it. But one thing I know for certain, I don't have faith in Brian Cashman. And if the Yankee fans don't have faith in him, it's going to be another long season, 2024.
It's an unbelievably hard task to complete, to actually like figure out this roster and have something that's gonna win you. I don't really care about like 95, 97 wins. It's really about making a team that is that much better than the other teams, that you're gonna make it
Mm-hmm.
to the World Series and win the World Series, because I don't really care to make the playoffs if you're just going to lose in the ALDS or into the the Orioles. They look outstanding, and this is just year one. Maybe you call last year kind of the beginning of it, but they got loads of guys coming, and they're going to get a bunch of more first round picks, and they're just going to continue the cycle. This is the beginning of like a dynasty. The Rays are always going to be there. They're going to retool. Their guys are going to get healthy, and the Blue Jays are going to start spending more money too, and they seem to make some decent decisions. So it's. And even the Red Sox, man, the Red Sox have the offense. They could be really aggressive on like Yamamoto, a couple other pitching. If they figure out their pitching, they're gonna be dangerous. This AL East, this Bulldog division is just gonna get tougher, and you really gotta like figure this crap out. And you're right. I don't know if Cashman's a demand for it. I don't know who is, but you could. I sure probably would have a lot more confidence in Kim, Brian, and Omar. And you don't, maybe you need to like define one person as the GM, but have them work together.
Yes.
A little bit of teamwork would not do any harm. You see what happened when one person kind of ran the show is a mess. Is he safe? Stan gets thrown out at home, of course, but
yeah, dumb move. I'm there with you. The only thing I would say is that I don't want to downplay the Orioles season. I think they're going to be a very good team eventually. They just haven't won anything yet. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. They haven't been in the playoffs yet, this group. And they haven't gone through that stretch and went through a pennant and gone through that October gauntlet. So until they do that, if this year is the year, then cool, more power to them. They worked their butt off. They finished in the basement for so long that they developed the right type of talent. Great. But in my eyes, it's like Toronto. Like Toronto always puts together a good team, but they can never go far. Seattle always put together a good team, but can never go far. The Yankees, similar boat, right? They can put together a decent team, but they can never get that far. So to me, they're not in they aren't in the Atlanta boat, in my opinion. They're not in the Houston boat, in my opinion. They're not in even the Phillies, now that they had their magical run last season, where they can get through a whole postseason and win a pennant. So until that happens, then I'm gonna sit there and say the Orioles are still a up and coming team. I don't think they're a dynasty yet. What I am rooting for, on a change of topic, what I am rooting for is the Mariners, because I want to make sure that Houston does not make the playoffs with us, so that this way we can say, "Ha, we didn't make it, neither do you, motherfucker."
I mean, for one time, the AL is pretty wide open.
Yeah.
The Astros have lost a step. Maybe the Rangers, kind of, again, another team who hasn't really proved it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these teams, the Orioles are going to lose at some point, and they'll learn a few lessons, and they're going to probably have to learn a few lessons before they're really at that spot.
Yeah.
And a few more guys, a couple of really savvy signings, couple of big trades in there. They'll be set up for a long time, but it comes with the territory. You need to lose a little bit. You need to learn these things, especially as a young team. But you can't help but just think about the trajectory of a few of these teams, and they look very positive.
Yeah.
And this Yankees team looked like they, over the last month, I've seen a lot more positive things that I would have thought a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
But still, there's a ton of work to be done, a ton of development to be done. And some guys, they just need to step up, or they need to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And by shut up, I've been saying this for a few years in a row now. Some of the best moves that the Yankees can make is addition by subtraction. And they've started it already. They got rid of Hicks. They got rid of Donaldson. It's funny. Whenever somebody goes to another team, they just start hitting again. It's like there's some like smoke screen around the Bronx that guys just can't freaking hit, or it must be the philosophy or something. But
I
I mean, either way, I rather the old guys get sent out, but they got to keep on subtracting. And when they make these trades, they don't have to win these trades by a mile like Cashman always tries to do. They just got to make smart trades that overall are net positive, not, getting rid of Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez and then adding Donaldson, which completely just makes that. Well, let's not talk about that.
yeah.
We've been there before.
Um. Oh, yeah. No need to beat a dead horse. But we're gonna start wrapping up the show. But with my closing remarks, I wanna address something that you said, and that was the Yankees ex-Yankee players go to other teams and they appear to hit again. And you know what? I honestly think it has to do with philosophy. It also may have to do with they can't handle New York, and it also might have to do with the pressure. Because something interesting popped up in my timeline today that I wasn't aware of, and you know what? I think this might be applicable for Yankee fans as well. Trey Turner, sorry, no, Corey Seager, right? Corey Seager's been having a horrible go at it first season in Philly to start the season, and
Turner.
Trey Turner, my fault. Yeah, who? Oh yeah, Corey Seager went to Texas. Oof. Trey Turner, horrible start to the Philly season. Um, and the Philly fans are just as ruthless as New York fans, booing him every time he got an out, every time he made an error, so on and so forth. So what they decided to do was to just cheer him on. Just cheer him every time he comes to the plate. Give him a standing ovation. He makes an out. Give him a standing ovation. And you know what? He turned the season around. And he went out and said, "Thank you, Philly, for doing that," because it just relieved that pressure from him. Like I know I suck, and then everyone's telling me I suck, and then I can't figure it out, and it spirals, right? And that could have been what happened with Hicks. That could have been what happened with Gallo. That could have been what happened with Donaldson. It could be what's happening to Giancarlo Stanton right now, where it's just spiraling because the pressure they're putting on themselves, the pressure the city's putting on them, and then on top of probably a really bad philosophy within the Yankees organization, which is not helping him or helping them. So my advice to Yankee fans is maybe we go into next season taking a page out of the Philly book and just supporting our guys, good, bad, or indifferent. Because at the end of the day, we are rooting for the jersey, the logo on the front, not the number on the back. So, what is your closing remarks, brother, before we get out of here?
Michael King.
He pitched a gem.
He's legit, man.
Mm-hmm.
If he can keep the ball in the zone with that sinker and that slurve or whatever the hell he throws, a sweeper, it's disgusting, man. And I know if people watch the game, they hear the same thing, but I really think him getting in that rhythm of throwing, 90, 100 pitches every fifth day is a lot better on the arm than him throwing like 2 or 3 innings randomly every like third day.
Nice
effort.
routine.
Yeah. He's a nice, tall, strong player. I think he should get Clark Schmidt's spot in the rotation, and then I think you can deal Schmidt while his arm is still healthy and intact, because he'll turn around next year, have like a Nestor 2023, be injured the whole year, and then no trade value. So I think I really, 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 really think you trade high on Clark Schmidt. Maybe package him with Pereira and maybe a catcher, maybe a young middle infield prospect in there, and then you have enough for Juan Soto. And then you play Juan Soto for a year, give him the bag. Soto, Dominguez, Judge in the outfield. Infield's still a mess. They got to figure that shit out. But
they got to commit. They got to figure out what they're gonna do with Glaber. Like, I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of the debate back and forth on Twitter about Glaber. I don't even care no more, bro. figure out what commit either way. Are you gonna not re-sign him, or you're gonna re-sign him? Because if you're not gonna re-sign him and you don't see him as a future, trade him now. So this way we can just get something for the guy. I don't care, get us some AA guys, some AAA guys, some depth. Get us some pitching that can help us, throughout a long season of 2024. If he is your guy and you're gonna extend him, give the man his money. Give him his money so that he can start playing, better baseball. So he doesn't have to maybe go into next season with the pressure of playing for a contract and potentially shit in the bed. Oh, I keep saying shit in the bag. Shit in the bed. And
What are you up to?
yeah, I know, right? So he can just focus and do his thing. Because I have a feeling my gut is just telling me that he's gonna go into next season with a lot of pressure and with something to prove, and it might mess him up, like how Sevy did, where he's going into a contract year and just doing something dumb and getting himself hurt, and we have a down year of Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, my opinion on this matter. I like Gleyber. I know he's the second best hitter on this team, but you just can't pay everybody. And I think nice play by Pereira, but I think Gleyber should be traded when his value is high, because he's had an amazing year on offense, and then you can kind of start solving a little bit of that infield log jam, because you can't. You already have two guys making a bunch of money. You got a bunch of young guys coming up, Peraza, Volpe, etc. And I think Torres needs to cash in on that value before he gets paid more and figure out your logjam here. But we'll wrap this up here. I don't have to go on a tangent.
Tyler, thank you again for another amazing episode. In the comments, if you made it this far, let us know what you think about the new layout. If you like it, if you like the new intro, you guys like the new logo, the new template, the new design. We worked hard on the background to try to give you guys better experiences while you're here. And try to up our value to you guys. And if you like what you're seeing, man, subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, and share it, guys. Until next week. Later. Peace.
Bitch niggas wanna get with me and mine. When we blowing up, we like landmines. We up in your shorty.